Du coup, pour YouTube, salut à vous. Épisode 3 du Rhobalas Show. Donc, du coup, vous avez entendu, l'invité d'aujourd'hui, c'est Dardo, donc le team directeur de chez Fnatic. Il vous dira mieux que moi exactement ce qu'est son rôle dans l'équipe et pour l'équipe, tout ça. Juste après, ce sera ma première question. On a fait un peu encore, je dirais, à la dernière minute. C'est compliqué de prendre des questions de viewers, voilà, c'était ça le point où je voulais arriver. On a validé Dardo, je crois, lundi soir, mais du coup j'étais au KCX, etc. Donc c'était un peu compliqué de prendre les questions à l'avance, donc j'ai fait un peu mon brief. On va parler principalement de Fnatic en LEC. On reviendra sur des questions qu'on a posées la semaine dernière avec Delord, pour ceux qui étaient là la semaine dernière, le coach de l'équipe Rising. On parlera de Adam, de Bouipo, tout ça. On parlera aussi globalement des perfs sur le split, tout ça. Du coup, je vais appeler Monsieur Dardo. Nous passons en bilingue mode et let's go avec mon magnifique accent anglais. So, Dardo, how are you doing today?
All good, all good.
Yeah.
Intense weekend, intense week before the super week, and obviously long weekend that we have ahead.
So my first question for today is, what is your your job, I guess, for Fnatic as a team director? Because a lot of people might not really understand what is your main focus for the team on LEC. So if you can tell us a bit more about that.
Sure. I mean, I think, in order to understand like high level, I always say that like a team at the end is like an orchestra where you have like different like players like playing different instruments and all these. And at the very end, like I have to be there like as a director of the orchestra to make sure that everyone is playing their part and that part is working and merging well with the for to have like a great sound all together.
Yeah.
Going a bit more in concrete and in this, like I obviously focus a lot on the strategy of what we are going to do, like the short term, obviously, like if there is something that we need to focus on short term solutions or anything, but especially I like to focus a lot more on the mid long term solutions that we are going to bring for Fnatic. Since I joined, like the idea within Fnatic was to put better structure on site in Berlin around the players with better resources and focusing a bit more on how to create better processes that can upgrade the level of performance of our teams in general.
Yeah, okay. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was during the AMA, we have a new office that is coming in Berlin or something like that.
Yeah, we are working on that as one of those projects that is a perfect example of what I was saying. Like we are working on projects that are focused on mid-long term, like how can this affect our performance, how this is going to make our day-to-day better, and actually the resources that are around our players. That is, as I said, a perfect example of a project that we are working on, and hopefully for next year. It's been a challenging project in general because with COVID, you can imagine constructions and all these are delayed and all this. So we are working really hard in order to get this done for next season already. But we will obviously get it as soon as possible. But yeah, like this is one of these projects that we really want to put the focus on because we believe it can make a huge impact on the day-to-day of the players to have like a more performance-oriented facility, like more esports-oriented facility. I think that can be like such a good thing for us, obviously.
Yeah, of course. So the first point I wanted to like focus on LEC would be the arrival of Adam on the plane, and maybe we can talk about Bouipo as well, doing the swap to jungle. On your part, how did you, manage to deal with that? Was it kind of easy because they are, easy to work with players, or was it a bit hard because we can say right now, because it's the last week of LEC, that was kind of successful. So What's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, at some point, as we have said in some of the official communications that we have done, it's at some point you have to take like difficult decisions, and you have to be brave enough to take some that can have like bigger upsides. So you cannot always play super safe. Probably like the safest option was to just continue with the same roster than in a spring split, not do changes, and as all of them were and are super talented players, like and probably with just doing things 1% better, like our result in summer could also have been like different to what we did in a spring split, sorry. But yeah, like we found that there were players that didn't have clear what they wanted to do in the future, which is very fair. And we just were clear with them and said, okay, then we just need to go to the market and see what's available to look at the future, because we are always doing that. We are always scouting for better players, like who are the next upcoming talent that is going to be there. And we had our eyes in Adam for the whole spring split, because he was like really being very outstanding. Like he was smurfing his position in LFL and then in EU Master. And we felt that it was a good moment to bring someone with fresh blood, with vision, and also with the willingness of being here for the future. It's like to build the project with us. And yeah, that's in that regard, it was obviously, as I said, it was a difficult decision, because we knew like that for the people outside that don't have the full context, it's very difficult to understand these things. And especially when you are getting at the very end, we are selling one of our best players from a talent standpoint. Like no one can deny that Selfmade is like a mega talented guy, like, and mechanically he's incredibly good. So it's really hard sometimes to communicate these things and have people trusting on these kind of decisions when they don't have the full context and they don't see like what we see on a daily basis. But I felt it was, regardless of the result, even if we would have been 5th or 6th, like this split, it's like I felt it was the right way to go. Like, if someone is not fully committed to the project and doesn't know if he wants to be here in the future, giving a space to someone that is talented and wants to be here in the future. I think that is what we just can't have players here that really want to be here with us.
And maybe a small word about Bwipo. Was it an easy decision, or was it like kind of a hard decision as well? Because we know that like jungle is not really swapping to top. Like we saw Genax swap to mid to top. I think it might be easier, because swapping from top lane to jungle maybe was a hard decision to make. I don't know if you can tell us a bit more about that.
It was not hard. I think the hardest part was taking the decision of whether to bring Adam or not and do a change in the team. Once that decision was made, I felt the natural change was bringing Bwipo to the jungle, and this is what people could not understand, obviously, but we had the feeling that Bwipo could contribute with different things to the team, because of his personality, because of his knowledge on the game, because he's like closer to some members of the team, and also when you are bringing a rookie top laner, like and you have someone like Bwipo there, like we also felt like he could help Adam to keep growing, given like the experience and the knowledge that Bwipo has as a solo laner. So I don't feel like once that like Adam decision was taken, I don't feel like it was really hard to take the decision on Bwipo, especially because, as we have said many times, like Bwipo re-rolling to other positions has been on the table for many times in the past, like even before I joined Fnatic, and after I joined Fnatic, it has been on the table also a couple of times. So for me, if there was a player that we could like rely on to do a change like this, actually that is Bwipo, just because of the commitment and then level of knowledge that he has on the game. Like, he is very versatile player.
Yeah, I think it was the answer that everyone is kind of saying to me when I ask them for Bwipo. So let's talk a bit about the split. So we will speak about this week, like the super week after. If we ignore maybe last week, what's your opinion on the split? Do you think like the boys did a good job? Was it an easy split, I would say, or did you had a lot to do to find what was working for the team? I don't know if you could tell us how the split went with some insight, I guess.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the split has been for sure smooth. Like, there's never an easy split, but the reality is that as I was saying, like the braveness of taking the decisions that we took, like have been paying off, and the team has been very solid from the very beginning. Well, not from the very beginning because we lost our first 2 games, and yeah, like it was really hard because in that actually those first 2 steps was really hard because we were coming from a decision that a lot of people didn't understand.
Yeah.
Plus, we entered in the league, and actually, like I was receiving messages of you are not going to even make playoffs. You are going to be 10th in the league, and all this. Like people being very frustrated, and suddenly we enter in the league and we lose the first 2 games. This is like, and we were not playing bad, but we lost them anyway. So, and the following day we had Rogue. So that first weekend was really tough. But then we did a really good performance against Rogue, and also Rogue is always one of those super stable teams. They lose very few games in regular season normally, so things kind of got a bit stabilized, and people were like kind of trusting, even if we were 1-2, like just because of the level that we showed. And from that moment onwards, I think like it has been pretty smooth because it has been working very well. And I think at the end, as I was saying, like actually we did this change with a clear ambition that was having people more on the same page and more aligned, and that is what we received. We actually doesn't matter, and we actually don't need to compare who is bringing better, like when it comes, for example, to the jungle position, who is being better, like Whip or Selfmade compared to Spring Split. It's not about like who was better or if it was like something like Whippo versus Selfmade or something like that when we did the change, or Adam versus Whippo. It's not like that. It's at the end of the day, this is a team, and you can make combinations that work better than others, like without having to compare individuals, you know, and that has made the split very easy and smooth. Not easy, but smooth, like in terms of we have had, as every team, ups and downs and moments where we are like everything is just going easy and fine, and moments where something doesn't go well on scrims or whatever, but still the team has always been able to overcome. Even if we have had a bad game or whatever, like the results were there because the team was playing very aligned. And yeah, like that is my read at the end of the day. Like people having fun, people being like happy with each other, like feeling as a team, working together as a group, and evolving as a group. And when we are having like worst moments, facing those worst moments all together as a group too. So that is really cool.
Okay. So last week was kind of hard. We went 0-2. We are tied with Mad Lions and Misfit. And if I'm not mistaken, this super week we are playing against Misfit on the first day and Mad Lions on the second. So it's a very important week because if you get a higher placing in the standings, of course you get a better placing for the playoff. So obviously the main focus will be to get second place, I guess. Do you feel confident? I don't know if you can tell us a bit how it is going after last week. Maybe how it was to deal with the defeat and how the boys are approaching this really important week for them. And yeah, I don't know if you can tell us some insight, I guess.
Sure. I mean, the last week was a bit of a weird and complicated week. I don't like to put excuses, and I don't think like we only lost because of this. Obviously, something was off these weekend games, but it is true that we couldn't like scream with in normal conditions as we normally do or we have done in all the other weeks, because some people were getting the first doses of vaccination, and that made some people have like secondary, well, like some side effects on the following days, like and that has a bit disrupted our practice that week. So that was something that made us go into the weekend a bit less prepared than we would normally have done. I don't think, as I said, that is the main reason why we lost, but in best of ones, like that it's everything very tight. 1% difference can make a huge impact. So I think that affected a bit us, and obviously the weekend didn't go as we wanted. I think the team is pretty confident on our possibilities, and at the very end of the day, sure, as you were saying, trying to reach second place, because first is, I think, it's mathematically impossible into playoffs. But trying to reach second place is obviously a goal. But let's be clear, like when you are playing best of ones, anything can happen. It could be like that we go 3-0 this weekend, and then in first round of playoffs we lose against one of the teams that we are facing this weekend, or it could go the other way around, that we go 0-3, and then anyway we are a really strong team in best of five. Best of five is always like such a different like atmosphere and challenge, and I believe our players are really ready for best of fives, and I think we are one of those teams that become stronger in best of fives, and so I cannot wait for that. Regarding this weekend, we just need to do like the same as we have been doing during the whole season. Hopefully that will, like the same as all the other season, that will bring victories, and as you said, as we are facing like direct rivals, if we win against them, that will most likely ensure that we are at the very, very top of the standings. But at the end of the day, I think like the goal for sure is to be placed top 4, be in the upper bracket, and we don't mind who is going to come in the best of 5. Once we place top 4, we know that we winning the first round of playoffs means already securing playoffs. And our goal obviously is to win LEC, it's not to go worlds or something like that. I think we are in a good position, and we have the right people and the right team in order to actually win LEC. So that's what we are going to fight for.
Okay. So yeah, we talk about worlds, playoff and stuff. My question will be about Adam. Do you think he feels a lot of pressure being on stage and stuff? Because like you talked about best of 5. He had some best of 5 with K-Corp before joining on EU Master and stuff. But he doesn't really have that much experience. I believe playoff will be played on stage because LEC has been back on stage. Do you think like the stage is affecting him, or do you feel like the backup that he has with Wipo, with Ili, like players that has a lot of experience, does it help him, or do you feel like he has some issues maybe with the stage?
I mean, obviously it's not comparable to someone like Wipo or Hilisan that have won LEC, been to many LEC finals, been even in a Worlds final, been in quarter of Worlds, semifinals of Worlds. It's like the level of experience that people like Wipo and Healy have is like super valuable, and these players are special, obviously, and they even grow in these kind of moments. It's like I remember last year, for example, when we actually were 5th or 6th in the regular season in summer split, and then Rogue was first, I think, and we go into the first round of playoffs and we 3-0 them and secure our playoffs, our world's spot. So that comes with that experience, that confidence when it comes to the most important moments. So it's not comparable with someone like Adam that obviously doesn't have that experience, and it's a rookie player, and we have to treat him as that. But I have to say that since the very, very first moment I spoke to Adam, I could feel that this guy was going to handle the pressure and the stress like quite well. And I think that was part of what made us go after him, like even if it felt to some people that this could have been a bit rust and that he only have been like one split of competitive like pro like career in his pro career, but it actually is someone with personality and it's someone with ambition. He has an ego, you know.
Yeah.
Like Adam has an ego, and but it's good to have an ego to a certain degree. Like, you know, like it cannot be like your ego cannot be huge, but it's good to have to a certain degree an ego, because that makes you want to keep improving, makes you want to be better and better, and you don't like settle with someone beating you in lane phase or doing or being better than you know, or being more impactful in the game than you are. So he has that, and that is super positive. I was like waiting actually to see how it was going to be once we were on a stage, to see if he was going to like struggle a bit with that. But the reality is that I would say he grows. Like in those moments, he grows. I would say if he has a downside, maybe it's more in scrims than in official games. You know, it's like probably like when he has full focus, full pressure, he's doing like probably the best. He's reaching his peak level, and still he has a lot of growth ahead of him. Like he needs to work on many stuff, but he's already being great. So that only makes us be super positive when it comes to him and the future, because if at this early stage of his career he is already providing what he is providing right now, when he grows both as a player, as a human being, as a person, and gets more mature and knows better how to canalize all that energy and all that like like ambition that he has, I think he's going to be a monster, and I'm pretty confident with how like the level that he's going to provide us in playoffs, and I don't think he's going to struggle or that he has any problem with pressure. I think he will grow like and step up.
Okay. So my last question will be about the future. You talked about the future. A lot of people had concerns when the roster for this split was announced. Seeing the result after, we could say, the end of the split. Of course, it depends on playoff and reaching to worlds and stuff. But do you feel like the roster could stay together? I don't know if you can tell us if the plan is to stay together or if you have already some kind of project. But yeah, of course, I guess it depends of the result of playoff and stuff. But I don't know if you can tell us a bit about that.
To a certain degree, for sure, it depends on the results. But the reality is that we shouldn't just planify our strategy around results. So we have like ideas, obviously, but basically we believe that this roster could work together for the future 100%, because we are seeing them working now. So why couldn't they keep working together and keep growing? I think we are just going to maintain the same approach that we were maintaining like in this mid-season, that it's we want to have here people that are fully committed to the project and that we know that they like want to be here in the future. And as a team, as Fnatic, like we always aim for like the better possible result, and in our strategy for the next year is to try to win worlds. That will mean that we are always going to be open to the market and see like if there are potential upgrades to our team, if we feel like there is something out there and there are opportunities out there. But for now, this is too early. Like we are just in the final stage of this season, and the vibes that we get right now with our current team are great. Like honestly, the reality is that I struggle to see what could like, even like if you give me like full options on the table, it's like I struggle to see like what could improve our team right now, because like as I was saying before, it's not only about the individual level, it's also about how the team merged together and how they are as a group of players. And I think right now the group is really good. So yeah, it's too early. and for sure we will have our eyes open for the future, and the results will definitely have a part of an impact on our decision, but it will not all be like result based. Like we have a clear strategy of what we want to do for the next years, and we will only have here the people that are aligned with that strategy and that really want to be here and be part of Fnatic.
Okay. So yeah, I wanted to ask you because I have literally no clue on this. I don't know if you know what Fnatic needs to do to get to Worlds, because I don't know with the result of the last split. Do you know what do we need to reach to get to World or not?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it could be really bad if I don't know.
Yeah.
Basically, we just need to place top 3. So right now, the result of a spring split only counts for the seeding for playoffs.
Yeah.
So we got, just by being 5th in playoffs of a spring split, we get some points. And now on regular season, depending on where we are, we will get other points. And then we add up those points together, and you have a result. And with that, they will do like the seeding for playoffs. And it will be first, probably like how it is looking, probably Rogue. Second, it depends on Mad Lions, for example, has a really tough weekend because they face us, Misfits, and Jitsu, or
Yeah.
I think. So they have a pretty rough weekend. But yeah, for example, Mad Lions, as they were first in spring split, they have a lot of points from a spring split. So even if they are third, maybe they will go over the second for sure. Probably not over Rogue, but over the second for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, then you will have the seeding. The most important thing, I think, it's being on the upper bracket, as I was saying, like being top 4. And then the top 3 teams after playoffs are the ones who go to Worlds. So first we'll choose 4th, and second will play against 3rd.
Yeah.
And the winners go to the semifinals, and all the other ones go to the loser bracket. 5th against 6th, whoever loses is out.
Yeah.
Then the winner against the loser of the first round, and then whoever
classic,
loses is out, and yeah, like that continues on. And yeah, whoever is on the last weekend. So last weekend, if I'm not wrong, it will be Saturday game of the loser bracket and Sunday final. But the 3 teams that are in that weekend, the 2 teams that are in the loser bracket, and then the one who is waiting in the final, which will be the ones who go Worlds.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was the point system. I thought it was as well like it was.
That was in the past.
Yeah, okay.
The past, like spring split points would count for the teams that go Worlds.
Yeah.
But from last year, that changed, and yeah, like I mean, as I was saying before, if you place top 4 and win the first best of 5, you actually are secure to go Worlds already. So that is quite positive.
Okay. I don't know if people in the chat have some questions, but yeah, I don't know. For my part, it was all I had to ask you. I'm just waiting for the chat to give me some question if they have, because I have some delay. I was playing some solo queue before, so can't really stream without delay in solo queue.
When are you going to visit us? Like, hopefully with the new facility, we have even built like streaming rooms, we are planning to build a streaming room. So I hope you can join us. Obviously,
I think it was a Berlin Brawl. I could have gone, but it was some COVID issue, because if I went, I was not vaccinated yet, so it would have been kind of hard for me to come back to France. But I don't know. If I'm vaccinated, I think I could come to Berlin. We'll have to ask Fnatic if I can come for playoff and stuff to come. But it could be a good thing for me to come, maybe to cover a week of playoff or something like that. But yeah,
sure. I mean, that could be great. Like, the next Rhobalas show we can do it here in Berlin together.
Yeah, it could be a nice thing.
And speak about our qualification to Worlds and us,
Yeah.
like let's say, playing finals of the LEC before we win it. So
Yeah.
who knows? Like,
yeah, it could be good. It could be good. Okay, so I saw earlier someone was asking that as well. A lot of people are asking if you don't mind telling us about your parcours, I guess in English it is.
Background?
Yeah, your background. What did you do before joining Fnatic? I don't know if you did some studies and stuff. I don't know if you want to tell us, and if you can, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. It's not a problem. So I don't come from the esports scene in general. Like I joined esport only 5 years ago, or almost 6 already. But I went to the university. I studied advertising and public relationships and journalism, like a double degree in the university. Then I did a master on communication management. And apart from that, I have been working several years in startups, mostly focused on innovation. So I was working in Spain in a university. I actually founded like a technological institute there that was helping startups to find funds to develop their projects and investors and all this. So I was very into that kind of projects, and that's how one of those projects that I was mentoring was about esports. And I mean, I loved gaming, but I was not super active player. I wasn't like a super active. Well, I back in that moment, I didn't even have played League of Legends.
Yeah, okay.
I knew the game, but I wasn't like a player or something. But I got very hooked by the scene and the industry. And it had everything I liked, like from a business standpoint, fast growing space, like very focused on like communication and design, technology, and all this, young people. So I started to learn more and more about it. And it was actually casualty that Origin owner, Expeke, was from the same city as me, and he was recommended to speak to me because he was looking for someone to run his company. And that's how it all started. Then I got a bit in love with the industry, in love with League of Legends in general, and then I obviously started to work no way more from working on it, and also started to play the game, even if I am a fucking Elo silver guy.
Yeah.
It's a hard stack silver guy, but I just started to really enjoy what I could bring to the industry and to a team. I think I found the perfect fit in Fnatic when I could actually focus more, as I was saying at the very beginning, in mid and long-term projects, because that is more my expertise. My expertise comes from the business, from innovation, and that is something that you can do in a project like Fnatic that is stable and you can plan for years ahead. While my previous experience with Origin or H2K, these were teams that you didn't know if in 3 months they were going to be disappear. So it's way more difficult to plan ahead. And actually, that is actually what happened. So I got a bit more frustrated with that. Also, something that I didn't do in the past in those teams was anything that had to do with the player, in terms of roster decisions and all this. But I have been learning more and more, and also getting way more involved on this topic. And yeah, in Fnatic, that is something that I have taken also the leadership on obviously together with our coaches, together with our scouters. But at the very end, it's I also have a strong say on what are we going to do in terms of our strategy in the roster. And that is also something that I have learned a lot over the past years, but also enjoyed very much. And yeah, it's actually good. But from in the starts and in the beginning, I was again more on the innovation when it comes to technology projects, and I'm always more on the business side.
Okay, that's a nice background. And you don't need to really, like, I don't know, justify yourself for being silver, because I think approximately 90% of people watching the stream right now are in silver or even below, so it's fine, don't worry. I don't see that much question. I believe we will probably have you on the show some other times. As you said, I hope I will be coming to Berlin, maybe to do it live, and maybe with not only you, with multiple people. And yeah, thank you for coming tonight, and thank you for your time.
You.
And let's talk again. I don't know, maybe at the end of playoff, or maybe during playoff if you have the time to. And yeah, of course, you are welcome on the show if you want.
Sure. Let's focus now on winning everything, getting the trophy to the black and orange, and hopefully that will mean that we are qualified to Worlds. And I would be happy to talk to you again before we go Worlds and comment on it, like what we have ahead and comparing it with last year and all that. So yeah, let's do that. And yeah, thank you very much for inviting me, and pleasure to spend this time with you.
Yeah, thank you, Dardo. See you later, I guess. Bye.
Bye.
Ok. C'était donc cette magnifique interview, on va dire ça, avec Dardo, du coup, team director. Très cool. Je pense que de toute façon, c'est quelqu'un qu'on aura... comme des lords, en vrai, comme j'ai dit la semaine dernière... Bon, alors attendez, laissez-moi... Voilà. Je n'aime pas avoir ma tête en énorme à l'écran. C'est pas forcément impossible qu'on le voit de nouveau dans le Rhobalas, dans le sens où c'est difficile, je pense, d'avoir des viewers. Je sais que vous aimeriez bien avoir des joueurs. J'imagine que dans le chat, enfin de toute façon vous pouvez me dire maintenant, mais j'imagine que vous aimeriez avoir Adam ou Niski ou ce genre de choses. Comme ça vous pourriez poser beaucoup de questions dans le chat, j'imagine. En vrai je dis Niski ou Adam parce que c'est des francophones, mais j'imagine que s'il y avait Upset ou Illisang ou quoi, vous seriez très content aussi. Mais disons que à l'approche des playoffs, en sachant qu'il y a la qualif des Worlds, on en a parlé pendant l'interview, c'est pas forcément très simple d'avoir les joueurs. Ils ont des scrims, ils ont des journées chargées, donc c'est pas facile d'avoir les joueurs pour l'instant. Mais on fera au mieux, hein. Je pense que s'il y a une semaine où c'est possible d'avoir un joueur, même si c'est un peu la dernière minute, on prendra l'option. Mais voilà, faut comprendre que le main focus, ça restera toujours la perf, les playoffs, les Worlds, et tout ce qui s'ensuit, forcément. Mais si possible, et quand ce sera possible, on aura les joueurs, vu que c'était globalement aussi le but de l'émission. Et comme on l'a dit avec Dardo, en vrai c'est pas impossible que j'aille sur Berlin, parce que de toute façon dans mon contrat avec Fnatic, je dois aller à Berlin dans tous les cas, enfin ou en tout cas pas forcément à Berlin, je peux aussi aller à Londres vu qu'il y a les bureaux de Fnatic à Londres. Mais c'est pas impossible que j'aille sur Berlin pour faire un Rhobalas show là-bas, ça pourrait être sympa en vrai de faire sur place. Du coup, pour revenir un petit peu sur tout ce qu'on a dit, on a dit pas mal de choses en vrai. On a parlé, du coup, en premier, un peu... je pense qu'on peut revenir sur ce qu'a dit Dardo à la fin aussi, sur son parcours. Donc, c'était un petit peu son rôle au sein de l'équipe et son parcours. Bon, du coup, je pense que vous avez entendu. Globalement, il a fait... Il était pas du tout dans l'e-sport au début. J'étais pas au courant, parce que même moi, Dardo, je le connais pas non plus plus que ça. C'était cool d'avoir les infos sur le fait que globalement il a fait un l'équivalent chez nous d'une licence, je dirais double licence plus master dans tout ce qui est innovation, tout ça, il a dit. Ensuite il a eu l'opportunité avec Origin, vu qu'il connaissait il connaissait pas XPK, mais il était dans la même ville, tout ça, donc de fil en aiguille, Origin, H2K, il a rejoint Fnatic, et là du coup au sein de Fnatic, il est team director, il gère globalement un peu toute cette ambiance qu'il y a dans l'équipe. Il gère un peu les relations entre les joueurs, c'est lui qui gère un petit peu globalement l'équipe, c'est le directeur de l'équipe, donc forcément c'est lui qui gère un petit peu tout ce qui est lié à l'équipe, je pense, les relations, tout ça, si je me souviens un petit peu bien de ce qu'il a dit, les relations entre les joueurs, les relations entre le staff et les joueurs, etc. Donc j'imagine qu'il a pas mal de taf. Il disait aussi qu'il avait pas mal d'impact sur les décisions au sein du roster, sur les swaps, sur les recrutements, les potentiels changements qu'il peut y avoir. On a parlé un petit peu de Adam, on a parlé de Bwipo. Il disait que Adam c'était quelqu'un qui avait beaucoup de potentiel. De toute façon, à chaque fois qu'on a des questions sur Adam, toujours praise, le petit Adam. En même temps, il montre de belles choses, je dirais, Adam. Enfin, mon opinion, c'est vraiment qu'il s'en sort bien, comme on avait dit la semaine dernière. Je pense que Adam, c'est vraiment quelqu'un qui a réussi à apporter son style de jeu un peu agressif et tout sur le stage. Donc c'est cool. En plus, on disait que il avait Bwipo, qui était le point d'après, Bwipo qui est en jungle. D'ailleurs, chose qu'on savait pas et que Dardo nous a dit, c'est que c'était pas la première fois qu'ils envisageaient le fait de roll swap Bwipo. Donc potentiellement, on aurait pu avoir le Bwipo. Enfin, je pense que vous avez déjà vu passer sur Twitter les mèmes de Bwipo mid, Bwipo ADC, Bwipo support et 5 Bwipo dans l'équipe Fnatic. C'était peut-être pas un mème, hein. Au final, c'est pas impossible que dans des discussions précédentes, on ait eu Bwipo qui roll swap en ADC, ça m'aurait mis plutôt bien. Et ouais, du coup, après, j'imagine que forcément Bwipo doit aider pas mal à Adam. C'est sûr qu'avoir un vétéran qui a joué au final des Worlds, etc., ça doit aider Adam d'avoir un top laner qui a pas mal de background comme ça. Ensuite, on a parlé du split. Bon, globalement, ils disaient qu'ils étaient assez contents des résultats du split. Forcément, pour l'instant, deuxième égalité. Il disait qu'il y avait eu des ups et des downs, enfin des hauts et des bas dans l'équipe sur le split, ce qui traduit bien. Il disait première semaine un petit peu compliquée, qui sont revenus un petit peu. Semaine dernière 0-2. Il disait qu'il y avait eu un peu les effets vaccins. Alors voilà, bon forcément ça fait pas tout, hein, mais il disait qu'il y avait certains des joueurs qui avaient été vaccinés quelques jours ou je sais plus 1 ou 2 jours avant, je me souviens plus ce qu'il a dit, avant les matchs, et du coup avec les effets indésirables, effets secondaires, tout ça. Ça avait joué un petit peu sur la perf. Forcément, quand il y a un joueur qui se sent pas bien, si c'est le shot caller en early ou quoi que ce soit, ça peut forcément impacter l'équipe sur la semaine. Du coup, là, Fnatic, cette semaine, ils ont une semaine importante, hein. On en a parlé pas mal. C'était quasiment le point le plus long de cette interview. On joue contre... Enfin, on joue. J'aime pas dire on, alors que moi, je suis là, je suis sur ma chaise gaming en train de flip des solo queues et de me faire run down. Il joue contre Misfit et il joue contre Mad Lions, donc c'est demain et vendredi, les 2 premiers matchs. Il joue d'abord contre Misfit et ensuite contre Mad, donc les 2 équipes avec qui ils sont à égalité. Du coup, semaine super importante. J'imagine que, bon voilà, je pense aussi que Dardo, respect pour les autres équipes, tout ça, il veut pas non plus trop dénigrer, mais le but, ça sera forcément de faire un 3-0 pour dire d'assurer la seconde place. Dans tous les cas, il disait qu'ils étaient globalement assez confiants. On a parlé des playoffs, des BO5, tout ça. Il disait que, à ses yeux, ils avaient une line-up qui était quand même assez solide en BO5. Moi, j'imagine que forcément avoir des joueurs comme Bwipo, Illisang, même Upset, beaucoup de background en LEC, beaucoup de BO5, beaucoup de playoffs, ça doit aider. Même Niski, hein, au final, Niski, que ce soit en Europe ou en NA, il a quand même un sacré background. Il n'y a que Adam. C'est pour ça que d'ailleurs je lui ai posé la question un petit peu sur est-ce que Adam a un peu la pressure de la stage, pressure des BO5, tout ça, parce que la LEC, comme vous savez, c'est revenu on stage. Ça a un petit peu plus de pression que si tu joues à la maison ou si tu joues dans la gaming house. Il a dit que Adam, ça avait pas l'air d'être trop un problème, que c'était même plus enrichissant pour lui dans le sens où il avait l'air de jouer à son plein potentiel quand il y avait de la pression, et peut-être qu'en scrim c'était plus difficile, j'imagine, niveau focus, tout ça. En même temps, Adam est quand même encore un petit peu jeune, mais du coup ils étaient assez confiants pour les playoffs, donc à voir. Semaine super importante qui derrière mène nos playoffs. Dans tous les cas, Fnatic feront les playoffs, c'est sûr, c'est validé depuis la semaine dernière, mais à voir du coup cette semaine quelle place ils arrivent à accrocher. On verra ça dans les jours qui arrivent, les 3 jours qui suivent. Bon, sur YouTube, si vous avez le replay, ça sera peut-être pas les 3 jours qui suivent le post de la vidéo, mais bon, vous avez compris. Et après, on a parlé un petit peu du futur. C'est vrai qu'on a abordé ce point-là, sur est-ce que... je pense que c'était un petit peu tout dans le suite pour aborder le sujet. Est-ce qu'ils se voient continuer avec ce roster? Est-ce que les changements... Bon, forcément, ça dépend des résultats, ça dépend de beaucoup de choses. Je pense qu'ils étaient... Ils pouvaient pas non plus dire oui, on veut changer machin et tout. Je pense que en vrai, ils sont quand même... ils étaient premiers de LEC la semaine dernière, là ils sont 2e. Ils ont une semaine qui peut leur permettre d'être encore premiers. Donc forcément, ça se passe bien, il n'y a pas vraiment de raison de changer. Mais voilà, il disait que le but c'était de construire du long terme. Que après voilà, c'est une équipe, ils cherchent toujours à se se consolider, à s'améliorer. Donc il disait que voilà, et forcément ils exploreront les opportunités et en fonction de résultats, etc., il y aura des changements ou pas. Et que il se basait pas forcément non plus que sur des résultats et des performances. Il parlait beaucoup de l'ambiance au sein de l'équipe, de la symbiose. Il disait que c'était quelque chose qui avait plutôt pas mal dans l'équipe en ce moment, que ça se passait plutôt bien. C'était une interview assez intéressante. Je sais pas trop ce que vous en avez pensé. De toute façon, même la semaine dernière avec Delord, c'était très bien. Donc Dardo, moi j'avais déjà eu l'occasion de parler à Dardo pendant un AMA Fnatic. Il y avait un AMA juste avant le split pour répondre aux questions des gens. Beaucoup de questions par rapport surtout au changement avec Bouipo et tout. Forcément, c'est pas forcément... Enfin, c'était pas une décision très simple. Et il y avait beaucoup de questions. On avait fait l'AMA, j'avais posé les questions. Donc c'était à ce moment-là que j'avais parlé pour la première fois avec Dardo. Donc j'ai aussi plus ou moins autant découvert que vous là sur cette interview. Et c'est pas impossible, hein, comme j'ai dit, qu'on revoit Dardo plus tard sur ce split. J'imagine que pendant les playoffs, ce genre de choses, ça sera beaucoup plus simple d'avoir Dardo ou peut-être quelqu'un d'autre du coaching staff qu'un joueur. Forcément, en playoff, les joueurs ils vont avoir pas mal de scrims, pas mal de matchs et tout, donc on n'aura pas forcément le temps de les avoir sur cette émission. Et voilà, du coup, c'était assez cool. On en a eu pour, comme la semaine dernière, 45-50 minutes. J'ai pas encore le nom de l'invité de la semaine prochaine. À voir avec qui on sera la semaine prochaine. On essaye de maintenir le rythme, hein. Un invité chaque semaine pour garder ça en marche. Du coup, n'hésitez pas, que ce soit sur YouTube ou dans le chat, hein, à exprimer un petit peu les gens que vous aimeriez voir, même si j'imagine fortement que c'est les joueurs. Et puis voilà, en espérant que ça vous ait appris quelques petits trucs et que ça vous ait plu. Le but, c'est toujours de pouvoir un petit peu avoir accès à des informations, des petites insights que vous n'avez pas et de connaître un petit peu plus la structure Fnatic. Et voilà. Du coup, sur YouTube, à la semaine prochaine pour le prochain épisode. Et nous, sur le stream, on enchaîne avec de la souffrance en solo queue. Let's go. Parce que si j'ouvre mon client et que je vais dans Ranked, je decay dans 3h50. Il nous reste donc 3h50 pour faire une game et espérer gagner quelques points de ligue. Let's go!